What's up, guys? It is 9:01 a.m. U.S. Pacific Standard Time here in Los Angeles. And it is Tuesday, December 21st, 2021 AD. We have Christmas coming up. That pagan holiday, some of you guys say. But we turned it Christian because the Christians are supposed to colonize the world. Go into all the world and be colonizers, guys. Conquerors, more than conquerors. Great. Very cool. I have a fun show, I think, maybe a little bit for you guys. I meant to be showing you guys the masked children yesterday, but I just have to do it today. And fake Joe Biden versus real, and I do mean real, Donald Trump with regard to the dogs. Joe Biden got a dog. Psh. And the attack on men. I understand the gripe of the MGTOWs. MGTOWs, men going their own way. Many of them have been done over. I want to say a different word, but by the courts and the women, and honestly, their own weakness too. And it is injustice that rules the scumbag females. MeToo'ing everybody. That too I'm going to get to. And of course, your calls. You are welcome to call in. Hake the Conqueror. Appreciate that, Colin Barrett. Trump said the choice is yours, vaccines. Some say that it is a sin to get the vax. I don't know. But anyway, guys, let's get right on with the show!
Have you been naughty or nice?
It's the Hake Report, the Hake Report. It's the Hake Report, the Hake Report.
Hey, guys! So, how are you guys doing? I am fine. Louis Bootsy says, Hake, when you point to the camera, it's like when Bill O'Reilly says, tonight. Or he used to anyway, when he hosted his show on Fox News before he got MeToo'd by hot chocolate. I laugh because it's so ridiculous, these females falsely accusing the males. And in some cases, who knows what the truth is, but who cares? It's not the point. It's nobody's business. What a mess. Well, shout out to Louis. I love the Italians. Don't you? Don't answer that. So, guys, let me jump right into this stuff. I think it'll be a fun show, interesting show. Masked kids. This is what shout out to Malkuth X for pointing out how well I enunciate the S and the K in masked children. I forgot to show this to you yesterday, and I showed it to you last week. These wrestlers grappling. I used to wrestle in high school. The December 15th, last Wednesday, I believe it was. I showed you high schoolers wrestling in New York City wearing masks. It's so dumb. And when I say masks, I'm talking about if you've been living under a rock or you're not really out in the world, which I understand. I mean these little like lawnmower masks that they have, or surgical, like a surgery person with the blue plastic or whatever this stuff is, paper, napkin thing, mask thing that people have been wearing around their faces. So silly. So silly. And look at them. They're wrestling, and they're both wearing masks while wrestling. Ridiculous. If any of you have ever wrestled, free breathing is better, for sure. It's ridiculous. And then I saw one guy who he had his mask down under his chin, but he wasn't wrestling at the time. And then over the weekend, I saw pics of little kids singing here in LA while masked. Like the kids are at such risk. They're not at risk. Yeah, maybe they catch it and then pass it on, but they don't tend to even pass it on that much, is what I've heard. I could be wrong, but it's what I heard. Look at these little cute little baby kids. Well, they're not babies. They're like 5-year-olds, is my guess, plus or minus a year or a few. Maybe it's, I don't know. But went to recital this week at a charter school in Los Angeles, tweeted out Michael Tracy. I'm sure having the kids sing together, but masked, was highly effective in stopping the spread. I know, seriously, they're not socially distanced, which is fine, which is good. They are singing, which you're not supposed to sing. They cut out singing in church for the church people who like to go sing in church. It doesn't happen a lot at Bond. Happy birthday and stuff, but there's some people who like to sing in church, right? And you don't sing because you're spitting out microparticles or something dumb like that, right? And then, so that's fine, good, they're singing. The only dumb thing is that the fact that they're wearing masks. Give me a break. But that's LA for you. Bunch of liberals. Except for me and a bunch of others. And then I saw high school basketballer boys wearing masks under their nose and in some cases under their mouth. Ridiculous. Have them take it off. It's ridiculous. Look at these pictures of these high schoolers. It's like, it's under their nose. Why even wear it? It's just, you're spitting on yourself and it just maintains dirtiness. Look at that. Gross. What the heck? Doesn't make any sense. But shout out to those high schoolers. They're toughing it out. Embarrassing. Have you heard the hype about the China virus, by the way? This Omicron? I did receive a call from my friend and yours, Rick from Maine, who said that his brother, he says describes as healthy, but he's heavy. Meaning too much fat, right? Too much fat. It's not good for you. There's other things going wrong. And blood clots, hospitalized, maybe coming through it, hopefully so. But it can affect people. And then same thing with the vaccine, too. It can affect people, too. What a mess. Sleazy Joe Biden is going to speak today, hyping it, attacking you if you are unvaccinated. I say keep your life kind of private. Biden is so fake. Real quick, let me show you this silly thing. Are you a dog person? Or are you a cat person? Or are you a human person? I noticed that a lot of people today around my age, plus or minus, are all into dogs or cats or both. But they're not into babies. Not into having babies. What in the world? So wrong. We were talking in church with J.C. Lee Peterson this past Sunday, a couple days ago, about people who prefer animals to human beings. Yeah, no, I'm wearing my American Shooters t-shirt. It's a Las Vegas shooting range, indoor shooting range. I went there recently. It was cool. Shot an Uzi. I think I told you guys about that. That's that Israeli fully automatic weapon. Also shot, I think, a Glock. It's a German weapon. Nice. Is Glock German or Austrian or something? I think it's German. And then I shot some, like, a Brazilian gun. A 6-shooter or something. Anyway. Look at this phony world right here. You in that category too, man. Are you talking about me, Lord A.O.? I'm not into dogs or cats. Anyway. Breaking 911 reports. Sleazy Joe, as in Joe Biden, right? Welcomes Commander. A German Shepherd. That's like that little Nazi dog, right? Nazi dog? German Shepherds? You guys ever played Duke Nukem or Doom or something like that? Where the dogs come after you, you have to shoot them, and you have to shoot the zombies? Well, here's Sleazy Joe gets a new puppy, a German Shepherd named Commander, and some speculate that he's doing this not because he loves dogs. Interesting timing. Or maybe the geriatrics do like dogs, right? The old folks, it's good to be around dogs. Life, youth. It's a puppy, right? But some speculate it's because his numbers are tanking. He's not very popular right now, guys. We are a closely divided country, and a lot of people are displeased with his performance. He is messing up the world well, it's not him, it's whoever's running the show, right? Well, anyway, look at this feel-good video. Joe Biden welcomes Commander Doggy, or Doggo, some people call it. Psh. Anyway, look at this.
Hey, pal.
Hey,
How you doing? How are you?
wish he treated us like that. Aw, chasing the ball on a leash. Big old feet. So cute, right? Makes me feel like 10% better about sleazy Joe Biden. So fake. Imagine if he treated the January 6th people like, hey, pal, how you doing? Because the January 6th people acted a little bit like doggies. You know, the mostly peaceful Capitol protesters, some of whom went into places they weren't supposed to go. They went into Nancy Pelosi's office. Some photographer said, hey, why don't you put your feet up on there and pose for a picture? Put your feet up on the desk. Looks very disrespectful, but looks too cute to most people, right? Looks disrespectful to the people who are predisposed to hate you. Hey, pal, how you doing? Fellow American? Hi-ho, neighbor. Nope. He's like, white supremacists are the major lethal threat to this country. And then he's pretending that the January 6th thing was a terrorist act. They're trying to root out terrorism in the military. I mean, not terrorism, extremism. Such a joke. I'll read about that a little bit later to you guys. Anyway, let me show you a real person who's real, who's genuine, a true politician. This is from live now from Fox on YouTube, February 11th, 2019. It's a throwback from El Paso, Texas. White House dog? President Trump explains why he doesn't have one. And he's talking about seeing like well-trained dogs performing in like the military, searching for drugs and weapons and stuff like that, terrorism. Here is our real president, Donald J. Trump. Once a president, always a president. Nice. Listen to this.
I was with the people, and they're showing me this incredible computerized stuff and where it goes. I said, could I, because Secret Service took me out to the place and they were showing me these German Shepherds, they're unbelievable. They'll run past all these empty boxes, and one of the boxes has drugs in it deep down in a box. And it comes to a screeching halt, barking at every time. So I asked the people that sell the machinery at a lot of money. I said, let me ask you a question. This stuff is incredible. I'm really impressed. How does it compare to a German Shepherd? Guy looks at me and goes, sir, honestly, it's not as good. Can you believe it? German Shepherd. Certain types of dogs. Pretty good.
Nice.
You do love your dogs, don't you?
He loves the people and people love him.
I wouldn't mind having one, honestly, but I don't have any time. I don't have time. How would I look walking a dog on the White House lawn? Would that be?
Exactly. Exactly.
Right? Sort of.
I rest my
I
case.
don't know. It doesn't. I don't feel good. Feels a little phony to me. A lot of people say, "Oh, you should get a dog." Why? It's good politically. I said, "Look, that's not the relationship I have with my people."
Exactly. He's a people person. He's a people person. Very cool. Right on, our real president, Donald J. Trump. Nice. I have a few super chats to read quickly before I get to some serious stuff, though. I have some serious stuff to cover. You guys heard of MGTOW, men going their own way? There's a reason for it. I don't endorse MGTOW at all, although I have Is MGTOW Misfit still in the chat? I always ask, and I never see the answer. I think you guys probably answer me every time, but I don't see it. Here's some super chats, though, guys. Ninja Mika states with the super chat, "Hey, Hake, amazing debate on the Crucible on rap. I ended up going to bed so late because it was too good to turn off because you and JLP and finding the word through God, I'm finding it easy to stand up against the children's of the lie in perfect love." Nice, man. Right on. Thank you. Ninja Mika? Cool. Appreciate the support. Based America First with a super chat states, this super chat entitles The Hake Report to an additional 60 seconds of sunlight on Christmas Day. Only valid in Los Angeles. Very cool, man. I appreciate that. I shall cash that in, that super chat in. 60 more seconds of sunlight on Christmas Day. Today is supposed to be the shortest day of the year. It is first day of winter. It's the winter solstice. Solstice, the way you guys talk about it, I don't know who I'm talking about when I say you guys, makes it seem like solstice is like new age. But no, it just means like it's the, I don't know, lowest point of the sun or something like that. Whatever. Thank you, Based America First, though. That's cool. Asmodor gave a super chat on Odyssey, ODYSEE.com/@the Hake Report, and states, Glocks are Austrian. Okay, I stand corrected. Thank you, man. The Brazilian gun was either a Taurus or a Rossi. It was a Taurus. Yeah, Taurus. And it was a revolver. Nice. Very cool. American shooters. Seemed okay. Seemed like an okay experience. Right on. I like the shirt. I like the color. Very cool. Well, guys, before I get to calls, let me tell you, you're thinking of hospice, James? Let me tell you about this custody battle of a Trump supporter, a prominent Trump supporter. I hadn't really heard too much about this guy. I just recognize the name, but I don't know much about him. I'm gonna show you his whole campaign video that he released in May on his YouTube channel, and then I shall play for you afterward his whole statement that he gave out, recorded himself speaking about his custody battle and the ridiculousness of the courts. And his wife, ex-wife, I guess. What a shame. That he tweeted out yesterday. Okay, so several months later, and he quit his Senate race so that he would have a better chance to get his kids back. And the judge is like, no, still no. What a shame, huh? So this man, apparently, he was running for Senate, endorsed by Trump, according to him. And I recognize the name. I believe it. I believe Trump would have endorsed this guy. Sean Parnell, SeanParnell. Sean Parnell USA on Twitter. Decorated combat veteran, according to him. New York Times best-selling author. I don't know what book he wrote. Father and leader. ParnellForSenate.com. And so here's this clip that I grabbed. It is a campaign video, okay, guys? So bear with me through it. Some of it's kind of nice, honestly. It's 3.5 minutes long or so. May 13th, 2021, Wynn, Pennsylvania. Apparently was running for Senate out of Pennsylvania. Wouldn't that have been nice? Save America. Listen to this. Sean Parnell's thing.
It was a warm and cloudy morning when the fate of America rested upon the rolling hills of central Pennsylvania. Today, an American flag stands watch over a humble grave whose marker reads on one side Burns and on the other side, Patriot. John Burns served in many battles during the War of 1812. He was too old to enlist, but at Gettysburg, John Burns limped out his front door and joined the fight. Wounded 3 times by rebel fire, he finally collapsed on the battlefield. A civilian warrior, John Burns embodies the spirit of Pennsylvanians. When our freedom is at stake, Pennsylvanians are the first to the fight. That's exactly why I joined the Army after 9/11. I led an infantry platoon on the front lines in Afghanistan. They called us the Outlaw Platoon, men of every race, creed, and religion. The media tries to divide America by those differences. Liberals think they define us. But in battle, with those men of Outlaw Platoon, we found truth is something greater. Our differences were only skin deep. And what we had in common, our love and brotherhood, it made us unstoppable. When Americans are united in purpose, we can accomplish anything. I've been all around the world. I learned the hard way that freedom is precious and rare, and we have to fight for it. Today, the fight for freedom is not on a battlefield overseas. Now the fight to preserve the fundamental things that make us Americans will be won or lost here at home. You and I face a generational crisis. Will we cherish our freedoms? Or will we submit to a government that tells us how to live, what to drive, who to worship, and what to think? Freedom of speech, they're strangling it. Our gun rights, they don't accept them. Police, they say defund them. Free enterprise, they say it doesn't work. We've always had crazy liberals in our politics, but this time they have powerful allies. They've bullied large corporations into doing their dirty work. Either we rise to the defense of our founding freedoms, or we'll be silenced and made defenseless. I'm asking you to join me in that fight. I grew up
Nice.
middle class, the son of a modest, faithful people. We lived paycheck to paycheck. My grandpap was a lifelong Union Democrat, old school Western PA through and through. My family got ahead with hard work and strong love, and I bet yours did too. Now I'm raising 3 kids, trying to give them the great nation our parents gave us.
Not anymore.
America calls Pennsylvania the Keystone State, the foundation and the future of our great republic. Our nation was built by the sweat of Pennsylvania coal miners, shipyard workers and steel workers, farmers, merchants, and soldiers. It's up to us to rise to the moment once again. The U.S. Senate is evenly divided. Senate control depends on us. Some say uniting America is impossible. I reject that. I believe there's still a rock-solid core of this country, and it can be saved. I'm Sean Parnell, and I'm running for U.S. Senate in Pennsylvania. If you believe the greatness of America is worth fighting for, then join this movement. I don't care if you're a Republican, Democrat, or Independent. If you want to help our country, then sign up for Parnell's platoon.
Nice.
Together, we'll be the generation that saves the American experiment.
So that's Sean Parnell. He is 40 years old. He's my age. It's his birthday, too. July 15th, 1981. I was born on July 17th, 2 days later. So you guys are like, oh, he fell for the for the 9/11 war thing, Iraq war. What was he, like 2019 when the thing happened? He would have been 20 when 9/11 happened. I think that's how old I was. But yeah, he wrote Outlaw Platoon. He wrote a bunch of books. One True Patriot, Man of War, or am I wrong? I think he wrote these books, unless I'm confused with another Sean Parnell. So all that to say, nope, I'm not going to run for office because I want my kids. He's been married. He had 3 kids, apparently divorced. So happens so often. Weak men, evil women. It's a bad combination, right? So he's going through the same thing that many of my callers and listeners dealing with. Men and children being destroyed by women in collusion with the fake justice system. And I will get to more of your super chats, guys. I saw an interesting comment from Asmodor over there about the dogs and cats versus babies. Interesting. But here's clip 13. Sean Parnell, he's speaking out, and he's a little bit more maybe genuine in this one, I think. Because he's talking about real life. His custody trial. He says, he tweeted this out, this video, 5.5 minute video. I'm speaking out for the first time about the verdict in my custody trial and with my withdrawal from the Senate race in Pennsylvania. I can't stay silent anymore. So he's joining the men's rights movement in a sense. The men's rights movement, which is basically fighting for fairness, right? In some cases, it's a little too fair in the sense that they want like equality, which is dumb. Here is Sean Parnell yesterday talking about his mess.
As you all know, I love this country. I fought for this country. And even though we have a lot of things to fix, I still have to believe in this country, even when its systems don't always treat me well. In my recent custody case, I received a ruling that was not only unfavorable to me, but absolutely devastating for my family. Leading up to the trial and around the time I declared for Senate, a couple of things happened. My ex retained a new attorney, which in turn disqualified all the family court judges in Butler County, Pennsylvania. After that, a senior Democrat judge from outside my county was specially appointed to my case by the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. And after my 3-day trial, this judge entered an order giving my ex one of the most extreme remedies available by law: sole legal custody. Despite that same judge making findings about what a good and involved father I am. It's baffling. But nevertheless, one of the main reasons this judge gave my ex primary custody is that I was a leading candidate for Senate. Those were the court's words. So I suspended my Senate campaign, tried to get my kids back right away. I recently asked the judge to reconsider because I'm not running for Senate anymore, and I'll have even more time to spend with my kids now. And because the law shows that sole legal custody was entirely inappropriate in my case. Unfortunately, less than 24 hours after filing for reconsideration, the judge entered an order saying he won't even consider whether or not he made a mistake. While I will always respect members of our judiciary, that doesn't mean I always think they get it right. And that's why I'm appealing this ruling, and I'm going to fight the good fight for my family. While my appeal is pending, let me just say this. The media has led you astray. My trial wasn't 3 days of jarring testimony about me being a child abuser. In fact, the court found that there's been no child abuse or any reason for there to be a concern about my kids' safety in my house. The abuse allegations raised by my ex? Now, the judge found my ex to be more credible than me because her version of the events had specific details, and my version was just a blanket denial. My question to all of you watching this is, how do I prove a negative? How could I be expected to give details about something that never occurred? I can go to my grave knowing that when I said on the witness stand that those things never happened, it's because they never happened, and it's just that simple. And oh, by the way, here's the most important part. Those same allegations were already raised by her 3 years ago and denied by a judge in a hearing in my hometown in Butler County, Pennsylvania. And shortly after that, she agreed with me that we should share 50-50 custody. We didn't even have a custody trial. Then when the media inquired about our divorce and custody issues during my 2020 campaign for Congress, we released a joint statement together, and she stood with me in defense of our family. Other than me running for a higher profile office, I'm not sure what changed in the last year. But at any rate, you heard that right. These weren't the new salacious revelations that the media led you to believe. They were allegations which were already found to be untrue and expunged years ago, well before one of my political opponents leaked them hours after I received President Trump's endorsement. The media also didn't tell you about the judge's positive findings about me, how I'm equally capable of taking care of my kids' needs as my ex, how involved I've been in their lives. Since my kids were born, I've been there for every moment, large and small, right alongside them. The media didn't tell you how my kids all expressed what the court called a well-reasoned preference to be in my care. After all, just to reiterate, The entire time that my ex and I have been legally separated, I have had shared 50-50 custody. And it has been that way for over 3 years. And my kids have done so great. The judge found that as well, but of course you didn't hear this from the media either. So the fast track custody appeals process can take about 9 months, and sadly, my children and I will never get this time back, but that's not going to stop me from fighting for them. They need me, and I need them. I love them more than anything in the world, and regardless of anyone's political beliefs, I know that every person watching this video cares about their family and their own children so much that they would feel the pain that I am feeling and be ready to fight the fight that I am fighting. I'm lucky to have the opportunity and resources to appeal this, but I know that not everyone is as lucky. And someday, somehow, when my journey is over, I will dedicate myself to changing this system for those who come through it after me. But until that time, I'm going to challenge this the way our system allows. And although I'm frustrated by this result, I'm going to maintain hope in our system and pray that justice will still prevail in the end.
Whatever. Matt the American says, you don't go into court agreeing with the court on how to decide. You go in as the father and tell the court as the father what you want. Plus, have what you want the lawyer to do in writing, he suggests. Super Dave is saying, this guy married the wrong woman. He's kind of beta about it. Man, what a mess. Yeah, true. It's a fair point, but it is definitely an attack on men. You guys are distracted by the eyes. I zoomed in on the eyes because he posted like a square video. Let me share with you a little bit more feedback about this situation. Asmodor says, I don't like this guy, referring to, especially after his campaign video, a man who joined the military to fight as an oppressor in a bad war based on false pretenses. That you can't blame him for that part. He's just 40. You didn't know. Makes a campaign ad about a man who 150 years ago joined the military to fight as an oppressor in a bad war based on false pretenses. Oh yeah, interesting. I hadn't caught that. Fair point. Yeah, bit of a anyway. And he also points out, I like dogs and cats, but it doesn't have anything to do with not liking babies. It's a false dichotomy. Not here among the younger people, the millennials, they call them, and Zoomers, especially here in LA, and I see them on Twitter all the time. I'm a parent of a dog. We are parents of a dog, they say. We are parents of this cat. Cat mom. It's embarrassing. Then they do that instead of having kids. The most educated people are not having the kids, meaning brainwashed. So that's all I'm talking about. They literally do replace children with dogs and cats. So I'm not talking about people who just normally like cats and dogs. I grew up with a dog. My dad already had the dog. Jake Hake. And a couple of cats, too. One cat, and then we got another. They were older than me. Black lab, too. Nice. Very cool. But he had kids. Anyway, what a mess, huh? Scumbag females, and honestly, yeah, I can see how this guy brought trouble upon himself. That's how it usually happens. That's why you don't have sex out of wedlock. You watch yourself, and you watch the people that you're around. And as JLP has said, you cannot trust an angry person. People will turn on you after years of seeming like faithful friends. Yeah, it can be shocking. So be wary of the evil in the world. Before I get to more of these false accusations or evil accusations against men, maybe they're not false, but who cares? They're evil. Let me get to Brandon, a first-time caller, purportedly, in California. How are you doing, Brandon?
Hey, what's going on, Hake?
Not much. How about you?
I'm all right, just making my morning coffee.
Right on. This is your first time calling, or have you called before?
Yes.
Okay.
No, it's my first time calling. I have a question for you, Hake. That's fine.
Go for it.
What do you have against homosexuals? Why are you always going at them?
I'm not always going after him. But it's wrong. Homosexuality is wrong, and you shouldn't be embracing wrong as right.
How is it wrong?
How is it wrong? How is it right? It's perverted. It's against nature. Sex is for making babies. You can't make babies with being homosexual. It's obviously on its face it's wrong. Do you think slavery is wrong?
Can I be honest with you?
Do you think slavery is wrong?
Yeah.
Why? How is that wrong?
I mean, even though we're all slaves today either way. But
how is it wrong?
How is slavery wrong?
Yeah.
Because we're supposed to have freedom.
Says who?
That's what we're supposed to be.
Who says?
Which means that just having people as slaves is not a good thing. I mean,
homosexuality is not a good thing.
How though? Like, hey, have you ever taken a dump and that feeling of the?
I'm gonna dump this caller. What the heck? Oh man, I had a feeling that he was. When he's well, can I be honest with you? That's when I knew. What a mess. Pronounce It claims slavery is not wrong. Sex slavery is the new thing. Hey, hang up. This guy is clearly not morally straight. Sorry, kids. Sorry, adults. Sorry, parents. What the heck? Anyway, thank you for your call. I had to hang up because this is a family-friendly show, man. We don't do that vulgar stuff. Anyway, let me tell you about this other attack on the... oh, real quick. Azador says, ask the caller if he is a homosexual and is that why he has a dog in the fight? Yeah. Maybe. A lot of these guys, because they themselves are perverted in whatever way that they are perverted, they think that they feel less judgment on themselves by being perverted, like they're having sex out of wedlock or they're into pornography and stuff, by embracing the homosexuals as being fine. Uncle Ted 88 gave a super chat, and it is an Odyssey coin. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Very nice. Very nice. Got a super chat over there on streamlabs.com/the Hake Report. Michael Parkinson claims collapse is needed. Only way women will relinquish unearned power that they wield. You think so, man? Incapable of forward thinking and selflessness, there's a reason why every religion, philosophy warns of the chaos, darkness, and evil of the feminine. Yeah. Pepe Le Pew says, I'm sorry I wrote gay Hake. Thank you for cleaning up my language when you read my comment. Yeah, because I clean up gay as not morally straight when I see that in the chat sometimes. True, Pepe Le Pew. Michael Parkinson, I agree with the last part of your comment about the evil. Hake, would you be cool with being a slave? No. If so, Jeremiah rubbing his hands like Birdman. Yeah, like he even knows what's coming. He doesn't know anything. But I don't know if collapse is needed, man. Collapse. I don't think that that's needed. But thank you, Michael Parkinson. Appreciate your support as always and the thoughts. Very nice. Okay, so now let me tell you about this. And this is the first time I've heard of this guy, although I kind of recognize his face, I guess. You know, I don't watch a lot of TV or movies, much less Broadway. This guy was a Broadway actor at one point. But these scumbag females, the moral of this story, in advance, I shall say, is never touch anyone. The Hollywood Reporter, and I may be being slightly facetious, however you say that word, facetious. The Hollywood Reporter, sleazy, phony, evil woman-led outlet, reported December 16th, Chris Noth. You guys ever heard of Chris Noth? N-O-T-H. Accused of sexual assault by 2 women, triggered by the recent Sex and the City reboot. You guys ever heard of that degenerate TV show? Which it had its heyday way back like 20 years ago, maybe. Give or take, right? Maybe 15. Probably more like 20, though. And then they had a reboot. Like they started with they're doing it again. So this evil editor-at-large, Kim Masters, she writes, "It was the revival of the television series that had made him such an iconic character." So he starred in this TV show, degenerate Sex in the City TV show. I don't know much about it except that it's degenerate. I mean, just listen to the name. The revival of the series that made him such an iconic character. So this guy played apparently in Sex in the City. That was triggering for 2 women. Zoe, now 40. I laugh because this is when the women turn a little bit miserable and mean and nasty and malicious. Just saying, I'm not saying anything other than that. And Lily, now 31, both allege they were sexually assaulted by actor Chris Noth. And I have some headlines on this, including this evil editor-at-large, Kim Masters, who's writing this nonsense. Look at her. The heck? You guys recognize him? You guys familiar with him? That show was trash, says Angela Northcutt. Exactly. These 2 women who approached the Hollywood Reporter separately, months apart. So, oh yeah, Satan doesn't talk to 2 people the same way at one time, right? Totally implausible. Who do not know each other, said promotions and press reports of HBO Max's Sex and the City sequel series, and Just Like That, I guess that's what it's called, in which Noth reprises his role as Mr. Big, stirred painful memories of incidents they say occurred in Los Angeles in 2004 and in New York in 2015, respectively, to protect their privacy. Yeah, okay, protect the accuser's privacy, not the accused. If it were fair, it would be unnamed man accused of sexual assault by unnamed women. Wouldn't that be better? Anyway, the Hollywood Reporter, THR, not to be confused with THR, the Hake Report, is allowing both women to use pseudonyms. What a phony outlet. Lily, that's the 31-year-old crotchety old woman, and using a pseudonym, a fake name, is now a journalist. So she's a dumb liberal, most likely, right? Including, honestly, even the conservative so-called women who are in media, they're liberals too. Reached out to the Hollywood Reporter in August. I'm not sure how you go about this story, and how you find the other victims, she wrote in an email. The Hollywood Reporter heard from Zoe, that's the 40-year-old female, in October. She still works in the entertainment industry and is fearful of repercussions if her identity were known. How about the repercussions since Chris Noth's identity is known? But no, he's a big dog, so they gotta take him down. And he's a male. And I don't know anything about this guy. He's probably a dumb liberal, or maybe even worse. Who knows? But he's a male, so male enough to be hated, right? Resembling a man enough to be hated, right? She still works in the entertainment industry and is fearful of repercussions. I said that already. Seeing that he was reprising his role in Sex and the City set off something in me, she says. See? Satan talking to her. Jealousy, envy, and malice. Revenge. For so many years, I buried it, she said. This is what they all say. She decided it was time to try to go public with who he is. Like she knows who he is. She only knows what he did, and what he did may or may not be what she claims that he did. Contacted for comment, Chris Noth sent The Hollywood Reporter, not The Hake Report, a statement. The accusations against me made by individuals I met years, even decades ago, are categorically false. These stories could have been from 30 years ago or 30 days ago. No always means no, he said. That's a line I do not cross. He's kind of behind the times because nowadays they have to say yes. Yes means yes, not no means no. And he's kind of lying too because we all know that no doesn't mean no. I even know that, and I've never even touched a woman. Anyway, the encounters were consensual, according to him. It's difficult not to question the timing of these stories coming out. I don't know for certain why they are surfacing now. Well, he does know, because Satan talked to them, and he's starring in this thing again. But I do know this. I did not assault these women. So this guy's getting kicked off of everything now. He's getting kicked off of everything. They already killed him off in this TV show series that he reprised his role in. Did you know that? He was Mr. Big, right? Don't ask me. I'd never heard of it. And the reboot of this series, I got to show you the reboot of this series. Clip 11. This is from Myth-Informed Mike, or MKE. Myth-Informed MKE. And no, I don't have a lisp. I'm not morally straight in that way. That is myth. Talking about myths, okay? Like fake stories, myth. Anyway. He says, what in the woke H is this? It's about a 2-minute clip. Hopefully it doesn't get censored, but this is for commentary, right? For news and commentary. He reprises. This is just a glimpse of this new Sex and the City thing that he played a part in. Shame on him, right? Listen to this.
Hey, that's where the professor sits. Oh, sorry.
They're in like a group teaching session. Class, sitting in a circle.
Oh, hey. That's where the professor sits. Sorry, he just told me.
Someone's quick with the pronouns.
It's fine.
I am the professor.
Black woman.
You're the professor?
Yeah.
You're Nia Wallace?
Yes. Why do you seem so surprised?
Well, your braids.
A law professor can't have hair like mine? Why is that?
Oh, no. I didn't mean because of the braids. I was just thrown because the braids are so different than the hair in your photo on the Columbia website. My comment had nothing whatsoever to do with it being a black hairstyle. I knew that you were black when I signed up for this class. That was important to me.
You signed up for this class because I'm black?
Well, not just because you're black. I picked this class because you're such a force in academia, on top of everything you do as a community activist. God, I sound like such a brown nose.
White woman looking boots.
Please just forget that I ever said anything about your hair. Hair has nothing whatsoever to do with appropriateness or intelligence or gravitas, obviously. I mean, do I look like someone who attaches any significance to hair? I let mine go gray, and I don't care if it makes me look old. Not that I'm ageist. Do I sound ageist?
You really want me to answer that question?
I am so sorry for taking everyone's time. This is not at all who I am. I will just be quiet now.
Okay. Hi.
So fake. What a cringe, layered in cringe, says Noah's Ark, Kansas. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So that's the reboot of the Sex and the City series. And I will get to calls, guys. Hang tight. But it's a bunch of cringy SJW, LGBTIQ. You saw that dude? I think it's a dude. She's all, he told me that's the professor's chair. Because they're sitting in a circle, right? Equality. If it's a circle, the professors can sit wherever the seat's open. Phony. Pandering. Anti-white LGBTIQ propaganda. Yep. So this guy appeared in this TV show, shame on him, right? And then he, according to the story, I'd never seen it, right? He did this workout on a Peloton, his character did. And then his character died, like right off the bat in the show. He gets a heart attack. And he dies in her arms or something like that. Somebody's arms, whoever's. So then Peloton's stock dropped. And so they called him, this actor guy, Chris Noth, who's accused of all these stupid stuff. Now he's accused of all this stupid stuff. And they're all, hey, be in a commercial for us. And we'll say, oh, you didn't actually die. Peloton, because Peloton's stock dropped. Peloton, if you're not familiar, that's like an exercise bike thing, right? Spinning. You see the commercials, rich people have it. And so they put him in this thing. Oh, he's actually alive. And Pelotons are good for you. It's good to work your heart. And then the ad was later removed due to the sexual assault accusations against Chris Noth. And he's been dropped from this TV series, The Equalizer, after sexual assault accusations. He was, by the way, in the 90s, he was accused of verbal and racial abuse based in the mid-1990s by model Beverly Johnson. What, is she black? Let me see. Yeah, she's kind of a little bit black. Light skin? With whom he had a relationship for 5 years, 6 years. She filed a restraining order against him. Doesn't mean anything. Men and women fight. So this month, December, he was actually accused by 3 women. He denied. Shortly after the first 2, he was dropped by A3 Artists Agency. He said 2 of the incidents were consensual and he had never heard of this third accuser. $12 million deal for entertainment arts research to buy Noth's tequila brand Ambar was canceled following the allegations. Peloton commercial pulled from the air. He was fired from his role as William Bishop in The Equalizer. Not to be confused with that one. Is Equalizer that one with that cringy black liberal guy? I call him a cringy black liberal because he kind of is now, even though sometimes he talks about responsibility. Who's that guy? He played Malcolm X. He played a bunch of other things. Everybody looks like Denzel Washington. Yeah. I call him cringy because he was reading, anyway, SJW, dumb black books. Anyway, after the first 2 allegations of so-called sexual assault, actress and screenwriter Zoe Lister-Jones called Noth a sexual predator and consistently sexually inappropriate when she worked with him on a 2005 episode of Law & Order: Criminal Intent. She further stated that he was drunk while filming his scenes. Excuse me, this guy used to be a Broadway actor, right? Did you know that I did a stint in Hollywood and Vine because I was working on a Christian show, a Christian Broadway show, musical thing. And there was the best actor drunk. And the female actor's so inappropriate. Oh my gosh. These people are so phony. Give me a break. Pfft. Anyway, that's that for that. Never touch anyone, guys. All right? Let me get to Zach, a first-time caller in Michigan, in the last 5 minutes of this first hour here. How are you doing, Zach?
I'm doing well, Hake. How are you?
Nice. Doing well as well. Thank you.
Hey, I used to like Denzel Washington too. But,
yeah, I still like him.
SJW stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, he is cringy.
Yeah.
But the reason why I called, I got a buddy, and he's been getting more into the victim ideology now. He's black.
How old are you? Or how old is he?
He's 30. I'm 30 as well.
Okay.
But funny thing is, he has a roommate named Matthew, and Matthew is actually a trans male.
Wow. So it's does that mean a woman who's pretending to be a man?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty funny actually, but and sad.
Yeah.
it's not a good situation for him.
Yeah.
I've noticed that he's been getting more into this crazy mindset, and every time I talk to him now, he just says all this crazy stuff, and I don't know. It's really weird. Like, have you ever been in that situation where you gotta like combat like all this stupid stuff that they're throwing at you?
Among close friends? A little bit, yeah. Mostly, though, for me, it was because I was starting to voice my opinions a little bit more. So I had changed rather than them. My friends were always dumb liberals, and I didn't encounter it because I wasn't outspoken at all about it. And then once I started saying stuff and posting stuff, they started. And then some of my friends, like I befriended friends of friends, and they would like Google me and see like some of my tweets or something. And this is before I even had a show. I was just JLP's producer. And so sometimes I would get into arguments with people on Twitter. So I'd be like, oh, Mexicans are just blind and brainwashed or something like that. And they would get mad at me and cut me off over stuff that I would say to somebody else that has nothing to do with them. And they're Asian, by the way, some of them. Educated at UCLA, it's a red flag. in many cases, exceptions to the rule. But yeah, I have encountered that a little bit. Just, if he's fine with you speaking your mind, speak your mind. But don't try to force him.
No, I don't.
How much do you hang out with him at 30? You guys are working, right?
Oh yeah, I just had a kid, so
nice.
We actually trained Muay Thai together.
Oh, okay.
So that's how I got to know him. But yeah, anytime that I have to be around his roommate, it's like. I'm polite. I'm white, so, and I'm not outspoken, so, it's kind of like a tension in the room. Like if you say like her or like I don't like to say like them, or or anything. I won't even acknowledge.
She's pretending to be a man, right? She wants you to refer to her as a they them type of thing.
Yeah. And
no.
We were out at a bar one time, and like they were checking out this girl, and I saw her looking at her too. And I was like, man, she is trying so hard right now, and she even went into the man's bathroom to relieve herself.
You were hanging out with both of them?
Yeah, he invited me out. I didn't realize that she would be there too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's.
And is she
really
black
cringy.
too?
No, she's white.
Wow, what
She's
a
white.
weird situation.
Yeah.
In Michigan, of all places.
Yeah, in the Midwest, man.
That is so strange.
Do you have another second?
Yeah, go for it.
I was watching some of JLP's interviews with Richard Spencer.
Yeah.
And I know, like, some other people that I listen to, like Fuentes and all that, they're all about optics. And I believe that Richard Spencer, he has some bad optics, with the whole Roman salute and all that. What's your take on him?
My take on Richard Spencer?
Yeah.
He's an atheist. He's a liberal.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. He has kind of given up on. I mean, he's atheist and he's kind of given up on America. I know that some of those guys. I mean, they just kind of have a beef with each other, and I don't know really what happened between them or what he may have done with with the feds and stuff like that or what. I really don't know. But as far as his optics, I mean, you have a right in America to, it's good to not offend the common sensibility of the people. That's why I don't say the B word personally, because, I mean, I just didn't grow up that way, even though I realized that it was just a stupid feminist idea to call it, to say that that's a bad word, you know? Or the N word. That's why I keep the show kind of family friendly. I'm happy with optics and presenting a good face. Yeah.
Yeah.
He hasn't done the Roman salute thing since, I don't even know if he really did. He raised his glass, I think. I don't know.
There were people in the crowd.
Yeah, I mean,
the Roman salute.
he's for Biden. He turned on Trump. I mean, a lot of decent people, whom I consider decent, also changed their mind about Trump, turned on Trump, in my opinion. But Hake, is Richard Spencer morally straight? I assume so. I mean, he's divorced. He's whatever. Has children.
Yeah,
But he's for abortion. Yeah. He thinks abortion is diminishing black crime. I've interviewed him too. JLP interviewed him before the Charlottesville mess, I think it was, a few times. Before the Charlottesville mess, which was when the what was called the alt-right just got destroyed by the smears of the mainstream media and the government. And to this day, they're going after those people. And so I have no personal problem with that guy.
To this day.
I don't think that his ideas for America, at least in terms of the abortion thing and going for Joe Biden instead of Trump and things like that, I don't support that. I don't really, he's sort of socialist, right? Calls it nationalist, right? Nationalist, socialist. Like, it's kind of like handout type of thing. I don't think that I'm for that. Some of these guys, some of my listeners are more for that. I think we need to just return to what Trump was returning us to, which was prosperity, by getting rid of the regulations and taxes and closing the border and stuff. We were going in the right direction, I think. So.
Yeah, I don't understand. My buddy says sometimes, he's like, oh, you don't want free health care, you don't want all this stuff. It's like, man, you don't want to work for it. I mean, you can get a job and
it's not free. You're just making it. Honestly, they're making it more expensive.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, they're making it more expensive by filtering it through the government. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. All right, man. Well,
are you white, Zach?
I am very white.
Okay.
I'm Caucasoidal as it gets.
Whatever that means. Well, I appreciate your call. It's good to hear from you.
All right, Hake. Have a good day.
You too.
All right.
Bye. Asmodor says, Spencer just insulted me by name on 60 Minutes. I was never so happy to be insulted, meaning he was quite happy to be insulted. Did he recently appear on 60? When you say just insulted me by name on 60 Minutes, are you saying that that's the only thing that he did regarding you, or is that did he just recently appear on 60 Minutes and insult you there? Nice. Well, guys, we are at the top of the hour. I'm going to get to more calls. Joe in Portland is coming up next. Wants to know if premarital sex is a sin. And Mike in Michigan wants to know what I have against Denzel Washington. I shall tell you. With or without good specifics. But first, it is Christmas time, right, guys? We're just a few days from Christmas. That pagan but Christian holiday. And the track that I want to share with you today is Mary, Did You Know? I didn't play that yesterday. I played What Child Is This, right? Mary, Did You Know by Phil Hahn, H-A-H-N, Hahn. It's not an Asian name. And Steve Johnson. Enjoy, guys. It's just a couple of minutes long here, guys. A few minutes. And I'll be right back for the rest of Hour 2. Hang tight.
Mary, did you know? Did you know? Mary, did you know? Mary, did you know? Did you know? Mary, did you know? Mary, did you know? would one day walk on water. Mary, did you know that your baby boy would save our sons and daughters? Did you know that your baby boy has come to make you new? This child that you've delivered would soon deliver you. Mary, did you know that your baby boy would give sight to a blind man? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would calm a storm with his hands? Did you know that your baby boy has walked where angels trod? And when you kiss this little baby, you kiss the Son of God. Mary, did you know? Mary, did you know? The blind will see, the deaf will hear, the dead will live again. The lame will leap, the dumb will speak, the praises of the Lamb. Mary, did you know that your baby boy is Lord of all creation? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would one day rule the nations? Did you know that your baby boy is heaven's perfect lamb? The sleeping child you're holding is the great I am.
Isn't that nice? I mean, dope song.
Make the blind men see. Mary, did you know?
Hake music. This is nice.
He'd be the ruler of all nations. Did you know?
Shoegazer music stinks. Well, guys, thank you for bearing with me through this. I'm getting mixed reviews here. Some of them like it. Hake on lead vocals, not quite. That was Phil Hahn and Steve Johnson. Steve Johnson, I feel like I heard him more than Phil Hahn. But thank you guys, appreciate that, Phil Hahn and Steve Johnson. Anyway. Well, should I say it? I feel like men are easier to listen to when they're singing. Sometimes the women get a little too... Blech. Hey, everyone loves Denzel, says John Rios. Yeah, I know. Make it stop, says Pepe Le Pew. Hake should give us a music-free show for Christmas, says Misty8976. Love this song, says C-Sal. Public health care is trash and a human rights violation, both in quality as well as theft of labor. I'm from Canada. It is absolute trash. The death penalties do exist. My aunt would know, says Chim Chad. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. I think Hake should keep the soul patch. Looks okay now, says Lord A.O. This song makes me want to boo-hoo sometimes, as in cry. Not this version so far, he's laughing, says Ghost Rider. The way Hake stares in the camera could melt the coldest of hearts, says Terry J. Hake, why do you do this? And I think that's referring to the song that I'm playing. Yeah, she knows, says Receder Bear. An angel literally explained it to her. That's right, the angel Gabriel told her. I hear angels from Africa right now. Man, that's god-awful, says John Miller. Facetious. Anyway. More super chats to read for you guys, actually. Michael Parkinson states, conflict fast approaching. Demon rats, demon rats. Attempting to indict Trump so he can't run. Sounds like an act of war to me. I know, keep it cool though, buddy. This evil will never find the Lord. The only way out of the descent into hell we are experiencing, in my opinion, is, he states, send all evil to God to judge with love. Well, man, don't be an accelerationist, though. Treading the line, buddy. Well, anyway. Avoid having opinions, man. It's his opinion that's the way out of the descent into hell is sending evil to God, which sounds like a euphemism, man, for which I would not support that, man. Michael Parkinson, check yourself, buddy. Silent prayer. Jim Justice knows a little bit about the accusations against Sean Parnell. Snell, that's I guess his ex-wife, has accused Parnell of throwing chairs at her, dropping her off at an interstate I'm laughing, but it's not funny. When she was 6 months pregnant and telling her to get an abortion, and then choking and strangling her. As to the allegations that Parnell injured their children on 2 occasions, the judge concluded that the incidents occurred as described by Lori Snell. But is the judge the right judge? I don't know. Jim Justice says, I'm not placing weight on that evidence because a period of 3.5 years has gone by without further incident. Good point, Jim Justice. Thank you, sir. Sean Parnell being the guy that Asmodor, I think, is rightly leery of. But he's my age. It's his birthday. Sean Parnell, July 15th. 40 years old. Nice. Anyway, guys, appreciate the super chats and the live chats. Let me get to Joe in Portland, Oregon. Wants to talk about premarital sex being, is it a sin? What's up, Joe? How are you doing?
Hey, good, Hake. How you doing?
Doing well as well. Nice.
And my apologies if you have discussed this topic before. I've been told you have. I just didn't hear it. You had said, you made a comment that you've never touched a woman before. So are you, is that true? Are you a virgin? Like you've never even made out with a woman?
I don't think that. I don't think that.
Is it because
that's all I meant is I'd never had sex before. I don't think men can be virgins. I think that's a woman's thing to be a virgin. Men are just they have had sex before or they haven't had sex before.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. So you have not had sex.
Right.
And is it because you think premarital sex is a sin against?
I was raised that it's wrong. I don't know if that was right. I don't think my mother told me that it was a sin, but my parents, I mean, especially the mother, before we watched it or the day after we watched a movie, I don't know. It was this movie with this comedian, that white-haired comedian. He's in Father of the Bride, but it wasn't Father of the Bride.
Oh, Steve Martin.
Yeah, we saw some movie where he's like sleeping at the foot of the bed and the woman's sleeping there in the morning, and then she said, "Oh, no, you're not supposed to have sex until marriage." And I didn't even know I didn't know what that meant or anything. And so she taught me before I even knew anything. Isn't that typical of a mother to just try to teach the son? But that sort of mindset stuck with me. My siblings, when they would have a boyfriend or girlfriend over, my sister boyfriend would have a boyfriend, my brother would have a girlfriend. When they would go into their room, they couldn't close the door, that type of stuff. So it was trained in me not to have sex out of wedlock.
So you think it's wrong?
Yeah.
Even if you use protection.
What the heck? Even worse if you do.
Why is that worse? Can you explain?
Yeah, because it seems just degenerate. It's like, I want to touch you, but not really. I'm going to just waste this thing that's supposed to make a baby.
Well, if it's not hurting anyone,
But it is.
why not?
It is hurting
Who's
people.
it hurting? Who's it hurting?
Both of them. And whoever, and
How?
how?
Can
You're
you
not aware of
explain?
that?
Yeah.
You don't think that it's
No.
wrong? You don't see that it's wrong?
I don't think it's wrong, personally.
Really?
Yeah.
Were you raised to think it's not wrong?
I wasn't raised either way.
Did you,
Like,
when
it
you
was
were,
never
when you were
discussed.
young, did you think it was wrong?
I didn't think it was wrong when I was young either.
The first time you did it, did you think it was wrong?
No.
Really? So you had no shame in the morning or whatever?
No.
Are you lying? Are you being honest with me?
I'm being honest. I don't think it's wrong.
So you,
I
to
don't
this
think it's
day,
wrong.
you have zero shame about this.
Zero. Zero shame.
And you
I don't
see,
think it's wrong.
and you
It's
see
not
no
hurting
harm,
anybody.
and you see no harm in using the women like this, and wasting your own life like this.
I'm not wasting my life. I'm just.
You see
having
no
a good
harm in
time
this.
Until I get,
You see
until
no
I
harm,
meet the right woman to marry. I'm just having a good time. I don't see
man.
any harm in that.
How old are you?
I'm old. I'm 58.
Until you meet the right woman. What the heck? Has it occurred to you that this type of mindset is kind of sabotaging?
No, if I had not had sex, I'd still be in the same position.
How do you know that? You don't know that.
Yeah, I do.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
No, you do not.
Yes, I do.
No, you do not. You don't know. You don't know what your mindset would be had you never had sex.
No, I do. I do. Trust me. I know me better than you know me.
You don't know yourself. If you're having sex, then stop having sex for 5 years.
There have been periods where I didn't have sex.
That doesn't mean that you. That doesn't mean that you never had. That you know what it would be. What your life would be like had you never had sex. The heck? That's ridiculous.
I don't think having. I don't think
That's
having
pure
sex-
speculation for you to claim that you know that you would have, that your life would be no different had you never had sex. That's silly.
I would probably be. My guess is I would be less happy because having sex made me happy.
Are you aware of what JLP says about this stuff too? Because he makes a lot more sense.
I'm not.
You're not?
I'm not.
Oh, okay. You ever listen to the Jesse
I
Lee
do
Peterson
watch
show?
it. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because he makes a
But
ton
I
of
just-
sense. He breaks it down like part of my thing is like, oh, I was raised this way. My mother brainwashed me, right? And it wasn't a wrong thing, though, not to have sex out of wedlock, but it was probably a bit overboard, overbearing, typical of the mother to just traumatize the kid in that way, right? So I understand that. But using a woman like that, you're making her worthless to the next guy if you just toss her to the side now.
Well, if she wants to do it, I'm not using her.
Yes,
She's
you are.
Willing. No. She's willing.
It doesn't mean you're not using her. A lot of people are willing participants, and then they change their mind later and accuse you. You're lucky you haven't had to face that. But people are willing participants, and then later they feel and realize that they were used by the other person. You're not doing it because you love her.
I'll say this. I'm using her. She's using me.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
For a good time.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not saying that she's not using you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But ultimately,
and wasting her own
we both
life.
Walk away.
Wasting
We
her
both
own life
walk away,
for it.
We've had a good time.
Man.
Nobody's hurt. Nobody's harmed.
Oh, yeah, they are. You just don't realize it.
And I'm open to changing my mind, but nobody has given me an argument that explains why it's such a bad thing or how is anyone being harmed.
You haven't seen the harm you for yourself at 58 years old?
Nope.
Because you sound like a
I have some good memories.
20-year-old. You sound very immature.
Well, I have some good memories of some good times.
Don't be bringing that stuff up, man. You've made your point about that.
Okay.
Hedonist old blank says somebody. Martial law in the chat. Interesting, man. I'm surprised at you. And are you a Christian?
I'm not religious.
So you're not a Christian.
No.
Interesting. Have you ever had any shame
I am-
ever
I
about
am
anything?
without- I'm not in. I'm sorry. Say that
Have you
again.
ever had any shame ever about anything?
Oh, sure. I'm ashamed that when I've hurt someone, I've been ashamed of that.
Okay. Asmodor with the super chat says, if you alter your actions, you meet different people and have different experiences. And that's the point. And it also changes your mindset because what you do affects your mind. You have no idea what your life would be like or your mindset would be like had you never had sex, Joe. And you think that you would be happier, but that's like Richard Spencer saying abortion has lowered the crime rate. Well, those babies were never born, so we don't know what it would have done to the crime rate. It's just pure speculation. You have no clue.
His statement made zero sense.
And your statement makes zero sense.
No, I don't. I disagree. But I mean,
You
I've also
disagree, but
dated
it still
women-
makes zero sense.
I've also dated women and not had sex with them.
Well,
with
good
the
for you. You
intention
want a cookie?
of getting to know them.
You want a medal?
The other thing is, if you're going to marry someone, you should know if you're compatible sexually.
No, man, that's so.
Because if you're not
you sound like a
compatible-
millennial, or a Zoomer. They're not. A woman is not a car that you test
I've
drive.
been saying,
Don't go into it.
yeah, you need to test
No,
drive them. I've been saying that since the 70s, dude.
I'm censoring you because this is a family-friendly show. No, man, that's ridiculous.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes. I
Okay,
didn't put
I'm
you on
sorry, I
hold.
said
I was
something
just shouting over you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Sorry.
And I was just saying that because this is a family-friendly show. There are children listening, and we keep it
You're
clean.
the one that said it.
You're the one who said it.
No,
You're the one
you
who
said
started
it.
to go into it.
No, you did. Come on.
Uh-uh.
It's been recorded, so go back and listen.
Nuh-uh.
But anyway, I've been saying that since the 70s.
Well, you were a sucker. You've been a sucker since the 70s, and you haven't grown any more mature in this area, I grant you. Maybe in other areas, you're an honorable man. You listen to the Hake Report, there must be something decent about you, right? I'm being facetious.
I mean, I agree with most things that you have to say. I just don't agree with that.
Yeah. Well, man,
And I missed what
check
you were
out.
saying about animals earlier. What were you saying about animals at the opening of the show?
Oh,
'Cause I
that
missed
people adopt animals. They think that they're a cat mom or cat parents. Mostly the woman is running the show with these young people being my age, younger, sometimes older. They have a cat or a dog instead of having children.
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with adopting animals.
I know there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just making the point that we have a declining birth rate amongst whites. Are you white?
Yes.
And you have no babies at 54. I have no babies at 40. Neither of us is married. One of us had a bunch of sex. One of us had no sex. And so something's wrong. Something must change.
You think I agree.
And I'm
with
not saying that that it's in God's will for you to end up getting married and have a baby, or me necessarily. I'm just saying there's a whole lot of whites and so-called educated people. Are you educated?
Oh, yeah.
See? Not having babies.
Well, there's too many people on the planet. The world's
No,
overpopulated.
man. What? You're from Oregon. You've been brainwashed.
I'm a conservative. I'm a
There is
hardcore
not too
conservative,
many
though.
people on the planet. Don't fall for that.
Oh, yes.
You
There
don't
are.
know. You've never even seen the whole planet.
How do you know?
No man has ever seen the whole planet.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I have not seen the whole planet. But based on what I've read, the world is overpopulated and the world cannot sustain this many people.
Don't believe what you read, man. That's fake science. That's
Well,
coming
you
from
gotta
radical
believe
homosexuals.
something.
Huh?
You got to believe something, right?
No, you don't.
I mean, you believe things that you read. I know you do.
Some of the stuff that yes, but some of the stuff that I read, it rings true. Like if I've read stuff in the Bible, it rings true, or I've read stuff on the internet, it reads true. Shout out to the internet. Highly censored.
Yeah. I mean, I'm skeptical of
Yeah.
everything I read.
Then why are you so credulous, meaning gullible, regarding the world population?
Well, it makes sense based on everything I've seen in my life.
What a mess. Stop having sex out of wedlock and see what makes sense then. You can't make stuff make sense because your mind is on a constant high from never mind. But anyway, I encourage you to check out JLP's reasoning because he explains it so well. That's his forte. He knows it's just such common sense. Basically, like the man is weak, he's giving his power over to the woman, and when you're not doing it in God's will, which I know you're not a Christian, but when you're not doing it in God's will, you're following the woman who's following Satan. Rather than she following you and you're following God.
I understand what you're saying, and that's great. You know, and I support people who are Christian.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm not Christian, though, so that doesn't really make sense to me.
Oh, I understand that. But check out what he says about it. There may be a Stop Having Sex Out of Wedlock playlist, and check it out if you are so inclined. I would encourage you to check it out. And a lot of the stuff that he will say, you will find in practice. It rings true to the women you've encountered and other men that you've seen, if not you yourself personally.
Okay, I'll definitely look for it. He's a good man. I want to hear what he has to say about it.
Nice. Right on, man. Appreciate you, Joe. Interesting call.
Yeah.
And
All
thanks
right,
for
brother,
keeping
you
it
take it
clean once I told you to keep it clean.
Oh, of course.
All right. Take care, man.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye. Wow, that was interesting. Bad Bibby 42 with a super chat. And BHAD BHI 42, kind of like bad baby. Speaking of sex out of wedlock or the degeneracy and the loss of children by the separation of the children from their fathers. Remember that Cash Me Outside girl? She is bad baby. I forget what her real name is. JLP has interviewed her father before. He's like a former cop or something like that. And she's talking all black. She was on Dr. Phil and she's bantering with the audience. And she's all, Cash Me Outside. How about that? And she went on IG and she's supposedly white or Italian maybe. Does that count? Shout out to Louis Bootsy. And she's like twerking on Instagram and being all degenerate. And she's 13 years old. And she looks all like developed because she doesn't have her father. Developed physically, but not mentally. She's just out of control with her mother. And she called herself Bad Baby. And then she turned 18 and got started a pornography thing. Degenerate, huh? Degenerate. And so Bad Baby 42 is fashioning his name after Bad Baby. Kind of funny. Anyway, Bad Baby 42 states, great show today, Hake. But how are them sideburns coming along? Oh, they're coming along okay. They're kind of dainty. You see them? Let me see. You can kind of see the hint of them. It's been day wet. Nice. Thank you, man.
Catch me outside. How about that?
That's that woman. And she's a grown so-called woman now. Yeah, Bibby 42. Thank you, man. Bad Bibby 42. Alexandra with the super chat states, oh my gosh, OMG, I can't believe people will adopt a dog and call themselves its mother. They're completely negating the fact that a dog has a dog mother. That's animalism and a product of white supremacy. Yeah, true. Beta sideburns, says Pepe Le Pew. I know. Okay, thank you guys. Appreciate that. Lines are full, guys. Was there something I wanted to cover? Let me first get to Mike in Michigan. He wanted to address me on Denzel. Mike, thank you for holding, man. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How about yourself, man? Happy holidays to you.
Thank you. Merry Christmas. I'm fine as well. And Happy New Year.
Right? Yeah.
Nice.
But I wanted to know, like, I heard you discussing Denzel earlier. I caught a few seconds. So what do you have against him?
So Denzel Washington, he acts like a respectable man in most cases, which, I mean, generally, like, he's kind of quiet about politics, which I like. And so I like that. And I respect his, he has a mild little bit of talent. Not as good as Tom Cruise. But
you said what, the man?
He has a mild little bit of talent. Not as good as Tom
man
Cruise.
Has done 50 movies. He's done over 50 movies, man.
I'm playing around a little bit, but he's all right. He's all right.
Yeah.
I like a lot of the movies that I've seen with him, including The Equalizer 2, which I saw recently, a few years ago maybe. And in that movie, he plays this like Muslim guy, black Muslim, and he's reading that.
No, he don't play no Muslim.
I don't know. It looks funny to me. It looks weird. No, I don't know if it's Equalizer or what.
See, you didn't pay attention. That movie?
What is that garb?
In that movie, he was reading. It was 100 books that his wife was reading before she died.
Oh yeah.
So he started reading those books.
No, that's the first
Eraser.
Eraser.
All through both the books. That's both.
Equalizer. Okay, but listen, there's a train scene in one of these movies with Denzel, and he's on a train. And it's in like the Siberian. I don't know. It's like cold outside. It's snowy, and he's on a train, and he looks like a Muslim. And he's reading Between the World and Me by Ta-Nehisi Coates. Give me a break. I don't know who put that in his hands or why he agreed to do that or if it was him who was doing that. But he was promoting this degenerate, anti-American Black Panther, son of a Black Panther guy who's a sleaze. So, and then there's some other stuff that he's been promoting dumb stuff before. I forget if it's the racism thing or if it was just being kind of liberal.
You said racism don't exist.
Right. Yeah, he was promoting the fake racism thing. Either that or it was some dumb liberal stuff. And so he's gotten on my nerves every now and then. But overall, I still have a positive view of the guy. I'm just being a little playful.
Right, because there's really nothing bad you could say about him. He's not out here. He hasn't had a scandal. Nobody accused him of rape. You know,
I would like him better if somebody accused him of rape, because
that's not why.
Because men all the time are being accused of stuff, and it has nothing to do with anybody but between the man and the woman, especially when it's years later. You know what I mean?
In the workplace, I've seen in the workplace. You know, not me. I've never done it, but I've seen sexual harassment go on that men do to women.
How about the women do to the men?
Same way. I've seen it.
And that's why you shouldn't have women in the workplace. Granted, in a movie set, you have to have like a woman being an actress because you don't want a man playing a woman as an actor. So you kind of have to have that.
Because that's interactions between man and woman every day. You go to the Starbucks and get you a coffee. You go to the Starbucks and get a coffee. It's more than likely it's a woman at the cashier.
Right.
So what are you talking about? So
but overall, like women don't have to be so much in the workplace that they are. They're promoting.
Why?
Because think about it. Think about.
So what are they supposed
in the
to do
olden
for
days?
income?
In the olden days, women did not really. Yeah, Equalizer 2. Those movies are directed by Antoine Fuqua, who's a dumb black nationalist. Says Asmodor with the super chat. Thank you, man. In the olden days, I don't know how old you are, but men.
I'm 38.
Okay, so in the olden days, men worked, the women stayed home, and they raised the children. They didn't need daycare. They didn't need the schools to raise them. They didn't need universal pre-kindergarten
And back then, back in those days, the dollar was more powerful.
Right. And now that women are working, the dollar is less powerful.
These days, you need two incomes in a household, especially if it's
not
a whole
everybody.
family. If they have kids.
I know it's tough times right now, but not necessarily. If
most
you are
everybody.
No, it's not most everybody.
Like, this is not the 50s where, a pop or whatever costs a dime.
Right, I know.
You go to the average
Have you ever
grocery store
questioned?
right now,
Have you ever questioned why that is?
inflation.
And why inflation?
Supply and demand.
Why?
Supply and demand. The more
You're just
people
saying
want
words.
this product. No, I'm just saying it's called supply and demand. And I have a product that you want to buy, but another person want to buy it too. So I can charge whatever I want to charge for this product and see who want to buy it first.
So are you saying we should get rid of the illegal aliens who are invading the country?
What does it have to do with inflation?
Because then we have less demand for supply.
What do you have to do? But it's still
That's what
gonna
supply
happen.
and demand, man. Supply and demand. You have
It's still happening.
less
It's
demand,
happening.
more supply,
It's still,
cheaper stuff.
It still was happening back then too.
No way, man. Do you realize that we have more in the population than ever?
But what does that have to do with what we talk about?
Listen, okay, let me tell you something, because you mentioned about inflation, right? And it's true.
Right.
With both the woman and the man working, now they can afford more, so they raise the prices. And now that they've raised the prices, it's harder for the people who want to do it right and just have the man work and the woman not. Hey, listen, Mike. I'm trying to explain to you. I'm trying to explain to you. Be patient with me. I will give you a chance to respond. When you have both working, and more frequently the man and the woman are working, then the household can afford more, and so the prices are going up. And so you're scamming the people who want to do it right, where it's just the man working and the women stay home. You're making it harder on the people who want to do it right. It's ill-gotten gain.
So, okay, first.
Yeah.
What do the woman do for income? Like, when she want to go out and buy herself something, so she has to wait on the man to do it?
Yeah.
No.
If she's married, or maybe she can have her own little business at home, maybe a little bit.
You mentioned that you have a sister. So your sister is supposed to wait until a man decides to give her some money to go out and buy something for herself.
Yeah.
No.
If she's married.
No.
Why?
So
you're a simp.
I'm not a simp. That just
Listen, especially when they have kids, before they have kids, fine, work, be a teacher or whatever, teach the kindergartners. But once you have the children, you stay home, woman.
Don't you? Okay, so having children brings another mouth. Having children brings more on, like, okay, let's say that.
That's why the man works.
That child has to take a bath, so the water bill is going to go up. You got to entertain that child. So the electric bill going to go up because the child might want to watch TV. So you mean to tell me this one man is supposed to supply all of that?
Real Vincent James does. You ever heard of him? He's white.
No.
He makes it happen.
I heard it.
He works by himself.
No.
His wife stays home. He has multiple kids, and he makes it happen. And he's a smart man and a go-getter, a hard worker, responsible, and he's Catholic.
His wife is not happy.
You have no idea what you're talking about. You're just speculating now.
She's not living.
You're just talking out of hell.
She's not living life. She's not living a life.
Yes, she is. She's living more of a life than the.
She's waiting. She's waiting.
She's not getting sexually harassed by men at work, and she's not sexually harassing other men at work. So
and more than likely, she's cheating on him.
You have no. You're being so evil right now, Mike. Mike, I gotta.
She has no life.
You don't know what you're talking about. She's raising the kids, man. And then she sees her husband at home. You have no clue what you're talking about. You better watch your mouth, Mike.
When those kids go
you better
off to
watch
school,
your mouth, Mike.
What does she do all day?
Mike, Asmodor has a super chat for you. Caller can't wrap his tiny brain around the quantified fact that hold on, man. Okay. In adjusted dollars, beginning in 1970, Americans' wages have gone down, not up. Compared to cost of living, the average wage is far lower. When you flood the labor market with illegals and immigrants, labor loses value. So now, and that's thanks to women voting, by the way. Women have been voting in because they feel sorry for the immigrants. Oh, we want to be anti-racist.
Why?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
see why you single right now.
You don't
And
know.
tell
You
that-
don't see anything.
Tell that super chat
Yeah.
person to kiss what God missed.
Come on, Mike. Keep it clean. Well,
I
nice
did.
talking with you, man.
I did.
Nice.
But what like you
Commander
you have
Kim.
that's why you single.
Here's
That's why you single right
Here's
now.
a chat from. Well, you don't know me. Here's a super chat from Commander Kim.
No
who
woman will
states,
date you.
Whatever. I am living my
With the
best
way you
life.
think.
Hold on, man. Hold your tongue for one moment. Control thyself. I am living my best life. I am much happier now that I have left the labor force and submit to my husband. Feminism is cancer, states Commander Kim. The homes, and Azador with another super chat, the home's finances should always be controlled by the man, period.
What?
Yes.
This is not the 1950s. Y'all need to grow up.
Well, thank you,
Y'all
man.
really
Are you
need
married?
to grow up. Yes.
You have children?
Yes.
Your wife works? Not to be too personal. And
Yes.
does she
But
deal with
I make more
harassment
than
at
her.
work?
I make more than her. No, she run her own business.
Oh, okay, cool. Nice.
But she still interacts with guys. I'm not insecure that my woman can't handle herself when a guy approaches her.
Neither
In the
is
wrong
Vincent
way.
James, but you still smeared
I'm not-
him and his wife. Shame on you.
I'm not-
Blindly, and you don't
I'm
even
not-
know
I'm
him.
not insecure.
You have no.
I'm not
Yes, you
insecure.
are, because you're making up
I
stuff
don't
about
have to
another
have
man.
My woman,
You're
I
making
don't
up.
have to have
Hold
my
on,
woman
man.
locked in
Hold
the
on.
closet.
Hold
I
on.
don't have
You
to
claimed.
have my woman
Hold
locked
on,
in the closet.
Mike. You claimed that you are not insecure, but you made up
Not at
something
all.
completely blind about another
That's
man
the
and his
truth.
wife. You have no clue
That's
what
the
you're
truth.
talking about.
You
should be ashamed of yourself.
If she has no life,
Apologize.
She has no life beside her. She has no life
Apologize.
besides those kids and him.
Apologize.
She's cheating on him.
All right, goodbye. What a mess. Mike sounds like an independent female, says Big Bump. I had to hang up on him because he kept on smearing. Asmodora with the super chat. The biggest flooding of the labor market beginning in 1970. Oh, yeah, that's right. Was women, not immigrants. Good point. Flooding the labor market with women in 1970. Not immigrants. Pushing women into the labor market increased the labor pool by 100% overnight. Essentially, right? Rough numbers. Yeah. Went over my head. I'm a little slow sometimes. But yeah. Duh. And that's what I tried to explain to him. They're both working. You're just ill-gotten gain. That's not real prosperity. Alexandra with the super chat says, tell Mike my husband works a medium income job and I comfortably stay at home with our 3 children. Nice. Anyway, what a mess. Keeping his queen working, says Lindy. But thank you, Mike. Interesting. Let me get to Justin, a caller, not a first timer, in Florida. How are you doing, Justin?
Hi, this is Justin in Fullerton. Correction.
Oh, Fullerton, California, not Florida. Nice to hear from you, man.
Good to hear from you. Merry Christmas. I know it's almost around the corner to you and your family.
Thank you.
I just have a question. I don't know if you heard about it. I'm sure you're pretty intelligent, but current event. Have you heard about
Fullerton, not
Joe?
Florida.
Yeah, it's Fullerton, California. But have you heard about the president's new stark warning?
What? Oh, I mean, did he just do it just over? What's his? Oh, yeah, I think I did, because he said for the unvaccinated, you're facing a winter of death, and for yourself and your family, and overwhelming hospitals.
Yeah. So I said you're pretty intelligent. You know about or you stay up to date to these things. Well, I thought it was kind of odd. Maybe not, but that the phrase you just brought up, "the dark winter," was something that he brought up during the debates. So people are getting sick. A lot more. It sucks for those people, but really it's them to blame. But for the question to be on point, people like us, James, like you and me, that have not been vaccinated.
You don't know if I've been vaccinated or not.
And I don't know.
Don't put my business out there. Anyway.
Yeah, I just assume you have not yet. You're a smart man. Like I said,
ASSUME. I said ASSUME. Don't assume.
Assume. I should not be that way sometimes, but yeah. All right. But how do you feel? I mean, about that? How do you feel about that?
About Sleazy Joe smearing the unvaccinated?
It's stark warning. He's like giving us a very, what does that insinuate, or what is that to us?
Nothing. It's nothing to us. We protect ourselves. We work on having healthy habits, eat right, exercise, get enough sleep, and drink enough water, and really pay attention to yourself and heed warnings from actual authorities, not phony Joe. Because actual authorities have
Fauci. I don't trust any of them. Yeah.
No. I mean, there's some legitimate stuff coming out from some people, and so don't be just throwing out the baby with the bathwater. But just be aware, be careful, be smart. The illegal alien disease has been coming into the country a lot.
Yeah, it's unfortunate they don't have all the medical centers out there to screen people, and if they do, in fact, have some type of a disease or virus to inoculate them or keep them.
I'm talking about over several decades they've been doing it, but yeah, that too coming in right now.
Yeah, but the new China flu is the worst one that we've ever heard. The SARS-2. So I think, it's endemic. We're going to have to live with it, and I bless everyone that sneezes, and I sincerely mean it. I hope nobody gets sick this year.
That's kind of you. Appreciate it, Justin. Good to hear from you.
Good to hear from you.
All right. Take care. Some super chats, guys. Gross gave a super chat and says, Mike is a not morally straight person. Yes, it's very immoral to be speculating about someone else's family, someone else's marriage. You have no clue what you're talking about, Mike. But I appreciate your call. But I tell you that you're wrong for doing that, and you just keep on doing it. Typical. The part the Lord missed was not putting a brain in the empty collar's empty skull. How does one kiss that? The part the Lord missed was not putting a brain in the collar's empty skull, referring, I think, to Mike, I assume. How does one kiss that or miss that? Daisy 1356 states, repeal the 19th. That is women's suffrage, bringing suffering upon the whole rest of us. Indeed. What's up, Clovera? Nice to see you. Shout out to the Twitch people. I don't really ignore you guys. I see what you say. I see it. Jib Jab says the average rent in New York is between $3,000 and $5,000 for a 1 to 2 bedroom. Ouch. No lie. What a mess. Well, thank you guys. Did you know, before I get back to calls, guys, in the Christian, so-called Christian world, there is this evil, fake Christian misleader. I call her a misleader because she misleads people. And she was once like in the Southern Baptist Conference. You guys ever heard of this? Beth Moore. I invited her on the JLP show. She didn't join. She's a coward. Some simp, Michael F. Bird on Substack, December 20th, talked about Beth Moore. She quit being a Southern Baptist and she became Anglican. She went to an Anglican church. And some Baptists picked up pitchforks, according to him. And he quotes some dumb woman Reverend Emily Hunter McGowan, PhD. You know that's all ego. And she's not black, I don't think. Reverend Emily Hunter McGowan, PhD. Only her soul is. Because you know how blacks, a lot of times they'll be like, Reverend, Doctor, something, Bishop. Well, oh, maybe she is a little bit black. Okay, I'm not sure. Maybe. Assistant professor at theology at Wheaton College. Explicitly Christian, academically rigorous, fully residential liberal arts college and graduate school located in the Chicago area. Priest and canon theologian. PhD in theology from University of Dayton. And a bunch of other mess. So this woman goes after the people who says, and she says, Sister Beth Moore should be able to serve in her church, and her church be able to receive her service in worship in peace without being targeted for public harassment. What, tweets? By self-appointed heresy hunters. I'm reporting all such tweets and suggest you do the same. So this woman, busybody, is reporting somebody tweeting about a public person. And this Beth Moore woman, she's written books. She is very happily a public figure. And so she loves all the love that she gets, but she hates, according to Emily Hunter McGowan, Reverend PhD on Twitter, hates all the hate that she gets. What a phony person. And some other guy says, this Michael F. Bird says, to those Baptist crazies, Beth Moore is going Anglican, and that's the least of your problems. Here's what you should be angry about. And he shares a Ron Flipkowski. If you guys are on Twitter a lot like I am, then you know that this Ron Philipkowski, whatever his name is, his Twitter profile reads attorney. So lawyer/liar, Marine, triathlete, historian, liar, former federal prosecutor, liar, and Republican, now a defense attorney and a Democrat. So he turned Democrat, some Christian this guy is referring to, tracking and reporting on right-wing extremism. So this Ron Philipkowski guy, he said, Trump attended Christmas service this morning at First Baptist Dallas. Pastor Robert Jeffress, he's that guy who's on Fox News a lot, asked him to come up and give a Christmas message to the congregation, and a MAGA rally broke out. Trump's prayer was about Afghanistan, inflation, gas prices, and the border. Good, those things need prayer. Those things need prayer. So, such a fake world we're living in, where the Christians, a bunch of dumb, liberal, evil, fake Christians, are jumping on Trump. Meanwhile, they're gathering around this female who quit the Southern Baptist Conference, partly because the Southern Baptist Conference are kind of closer to being real Christians because they support Trump, right? Support was right. It's a fake world. Anyway, they're attacking everybody decent over there. I may get to a little bit more, but first, let me get to William in California. William, how are you doing? Hey.
James.
How are you?
Merry Christmas.
Thank you, sir. Merry Christmas to you.
I notice a lot of these kids are calling in here, purposely calling in saying happy holidays, and that's just so weak.
Yeah, it is.
Congratulations on your new Chihuahua from Michigan. He wasn't around in the 50s, in the 60s, and the 70s.
Good point.
No.
Yeah.
The parents did a better job with the kids, yes, because the women tended to stay home
Yep.
with the kids, and the kids came out better. And it's kind of funny how a lot of people that are mentioning things that they weren't around for.
Right. They talk about this isn't the 50s, and they weren't even around in the 70s.
You have no idea. You have no idea
Yep.
What was going on then. And I mean, you know, you had John in Kentucky talking about the O.J. trial, and he was only 2 years old when that was going on.
Oh, come on. He was at least 7, 8, 10. He might have been 13. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, a lot of stuff. If you got to be careful when you start talking about stuff that you weren't around for.
For sure.
Do some better research. But in the news, we got one of the high-ranking members of the Bloods in Los Angeles. He said he's leaving. He said he's leaving, and he said, do not come to Los Angeles.
Oh, leaving Los Angeles, not leaving the Bloods.
Nobody can keep you safe, and he said he's never seen it this bad.
Wow.
Man, is this the black women raising kids theory. That's what that is. Doing a good job, black women.
Yeah.
Doing a good job. And they
Well,
seem
I
to be
mean,
in a lot of
honestly,
trouble.
L.A., the problem in L.A. is more than just blacks, because blacks have declined in L.A. a lot.
Yeah.
But they are blacks included for sure. They are way out of proportion.
I stayed there in the 80s. I lived in Orange County. What's that, Costa Mesa?
Yeah. Beautiful area.
I stayed there. That was a better place at one time, too.
Yeah.
But they're getting in a lot of trouble. I think Kim Fox and Donald Trump is suing one of them, and then you got Kim Fox using hot water. Maxine Waters is starting to get into some hot water, and I'd say, maybe they should be staying home.
Yeah.
Because they haven't done a good job. I mean, you got somebody, this kid is over here telling you about how wrong you are about the woman being at work and everything, and I don't know.
He thinks that
I sit there and listen to this
What does he
stuff.
think? Anyway,
Yeah, go ahead,
it's ridiculous to think that a woman staying home is more likely to cheat than a woman at working. Please.
Well, what he really wants is he wants somebody to help him pay his bills. But if you look at these men that he never knew in the 50s, their paychecks dominated the household.
Right.
So there it is.
Yep.
We got a football player at USC. He transferred to Mississippi State, $280,000 worth of fraud. He's black. And what's the matter with Mike up in Michigan? Just because Denzel was black, nobody can talk about him?
Yeah.
That's the only reason you looked at his movies.
No, I mean, his movies were kind of
Denzel's got some
everybody.
good movies. Denzel's got some good movies, but I mean, there's some better actors
For sure.
from back in the day that didn't have a movie built around them. They had to actually win the part.
Yeah.
Denzel has a lot of movies that are built around Denzel.
Yeah. To him who has, more will be given. So you already have people are kind of interested in seeing you. You're fun to watch.
Yeah.
You have that reputation. They're gonna throw you in anything.
Hake, James, it was a time in Hollywood where you had to win that part.
Right.
You could be the biggest star, but the directors will look and say, "We can't use him."
Yeah.
But it's a lot of the movies are built around the star today.
Yep.
But I think he's getting a little bent out of shape because you're talking about Denzel. What's the big deal about Denzel? You already know. Because he's black.
Yep. And he's into his blackness a little bit. Something's up.
I'm black. I mean, I love my people and everything. I don't hate them, but they're not acting right.
Yeah.
And I'd say a lot of this happy holiday crap, you're just calling in here trying to distract from the news, and you know what's on the news.
Yeah.
We ain't acting right.
Well, William, I appreciate it, man. It's good to hear from you.
All right, man. Merry Christmas. You guys take it easy.
All right. You as well.
All right.
Bye. Quickly, let me get to John in Kentucky in the last minute here. John, what's up?
The last minute.
Yes.
Yeah. You trying to ban me from the show?
If I was trying to ban you, you would be banned.
Oh, you got all the power, huh? You sound so tough.
You know that I could ban you at any time, right?
If you want to, you can. I mean, it's up to you. It's your show.
Right.
But I just heard you on your. I heard you on your show yesterday saying I almost had to ban John from Kentucky.
Yeah.
For what?
You don't know what? You don't know for what, for real?
No,
okay.
I don't.
Yeah, because you got a little bit loose with the lips, and you were getting
Loose
like
with the
Jeremiah level evil with your hatred and
Can
your
you give me an
death
example,
wish.
please?
I don't even want to repeat it, but it had to do with white children. And
did you say something about hanging blacks in trees and stuff?
so
like
now
that?
you do know exactly what I'm talking about. You know
Did you
exactly
say
what I'm
something like
talking
that?
about. I'm gonna hang up now.
Did you
Gotta
say-
go, man. Thank you, John, and thank you, guys. This has been the Hake Report. I had to hang up before he said something to get himself banned. I saved you, man. Thank you, guys. I will see you hopefully tomorrow. Take care.